everyone, and welcome to the Real Positive Girl podcast with me, Sabrina. This is the show that helps you become your best self, and today we're talking about how to rest and reset your mind, give your brain a break and a boost. But before we jump into that, as always, I want to invite you to come say hi to me on social media. I am at Sabrina Joy Perozzo on TikTok and Instagram. That is the details on how to spell that is down in the show notes, as well as in the show notes is a link for you to sign up to my weekly newsletter, which comes out every single Wednesday, late afternoon, early evening, where I have just like tidbits and stories and also links to episodes that you may be behind on and updates for things coming out, like the planner and the book that I'm writing and anything else that's happening. So check that out. There's also a link down there for you to anonymously submit a topic suggestion to the podcast. And then if you do forget where that link is, it's also now available on my website under resources. And then also there's a new link in the show notes in regards to venting anonymously. And if you lack someone in your life that is available for you to vent to, sometimes we just need to get things off our chest so we can better understand what we're feeling and be able to move forward. You can now do that anonymously through a form that is hosted on Google and on my website. Again, I will never know it's you. I just check those a couple times a week. I pray over them, and then you just have a free space for you to submit that to. So check that out, as well as a spot for you to send me an email with any questions, comments, concerns, prayer requests, feedback, topic suggestions, any of those things. So check all of that out in the show notes, but let's go ahead and jump into today's episode, which again is how to rest and reset your mind, give your brain a break and a boost. So I would always push myself to do the absolute most with my brain when I was younger because I believed it was the thing that would bring me the most respect. Silly, I know. But I thought it would bring me the most respect, the most fulfillment, and appreciation from others because let's not forget, when I was younger, it was all about needing that sweet, sweet validation. It really was, because I was not getting that at home and I needed it. I felt like I needed it. And so I was seeking it left and right around every corner. Not every corner. It was pretty safe. But even still, I needed it. I was like, okay, I'm a smart cookie. People say that. I'm going to try to, garner appreciation, respect, and fulfillment from pushing myself to my utter limits in my brain. And I would work it to the max with solving problems for myself and for others. I still love to solve problems. So I don't think it's a downfall. It's just something that I've loved for most of my life. I would also push myself to learn all the things, all of the things that I could learn, and basically finding any way I could show off how smart and capable I was. Again, it was validation station, my friends, not the best place to be. And really it was all for nothing because it ended up leading up to a lot of burnout and even pockets of time where I didn't even realize that what I was experiencing was burnout. Later thinking about it, it definitely was, where it's just overwhelming situations. I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to give up. And it was tough, right? And I'm sure someone else has felt that way. And I'm not saying that you can't push yourself from time to time, but it doesn't need to be all of the time. And most certainly doesn't need to be to the edge of giving up and feeling overwhelmed, right? I know that sometimes we push ourselves to the brink and we will have these feelings and we do not realize those feelings as red flags and alerts and, this cautionary thing that's telling us, hey, you might want to slow down. You might want to take a step back. You might want to chillax. But oh no, not me. And I'm sure many of us are oh no, that just means that we're almost to our highest level and the farthest we can go. So of course we need to push forward, which is delusional thinking. I'm just saying it is. It's too much. We were doing a lot. Okay. We were doing a lot with this mindset. But yeah, we don't want to push ourselves to the brink, to the edge. We're sliding off the cliff, you guys. And you can do this more often if you take the time necessary to rest and reset your mind. So if you really want to push yourself to do more and to experience more and to see like what your capabilities are, you will have to take breaks and you will have to reset yourself so that you're more capable of doing more and more each and every time. It's kind of like refueling a car or plugging in electronic to replenish the battery. So you plug in your phone, plug in your tablet, plug in your portable charger, plug in your Bluetooth speaker, whatever it may be. Plugging it in, you're refueling, replenishing the battery, and then you're good to go for a lot longer, right? So it's the same. You got to have breaks to increase your longevity and ability to keep going. And I know that makes sense. I think a lot of us think we can get away with not doing that. And then we, reap those not benefits. We reap those like terrible repercussions of realizing, oh no, that's not true. I don't know when I'll ever learn this lesson. And then eventually you'll learn the lesson. And I want to teach you the lesson right now so your life will be a lot easier. But hey man, it's all in due time. There's definitely been several things where I have to learn the lesson like 3 times. And then I'm like, okay, girl, we've learned this enough. Let's just stick that in our brain, pop it in our pocket, and we're good to go, right? So I understand if it takes more time for you to fully absorb something that you know you need to like do or stop doing, I totally get it. But if we do realize how important it is and how to implement rest and reset of our mind into our lives will be a lot better. I promise you. But if you still don't believe me that you need to rest and reset time for your mind, let me ask you a question. Who are you trying to impress? Like who? Like say it out loud. Like who are you trying to impress? I would say that back in the day when I would really push myself to neglect rest and reset, who was I trying to impress? I was trying to impress my dad. I was trying to impress all the teachers at school. I was trying to impress all the boys at school. I was trying to impress my best friend, both my best friends, because I had 2 in high school at least. I was trying to impress the random kids in my class that I basically grown up with because we've all went to the same schools. That's who I was trying to impress, right? And any adult that I came into contact with when I was with my father. But I want you to ask yourself, who are you trying to impress? Like who? You have to be needing to impress someone for you to push yourself that far. There's no other reason. And if you're telling me though there is another reason and your answer is I just need to be the best, that still counts as impressing someone because it just means that you want to impress everyone, every single person. If you're just trying to be the best, then of course you want to impress everyone and show them that you're the best. But I want you to ask yourself why. WHY. Why it's important to impress whoever it is in your life, and how that will benefit you. Because a lot of times we go through all this work to impress people and to gain respect and to get that pat in the back, but then how does that actually benefit you outside of the pat on the back? Like, it's great, but are you getting a raise? Are you getting more money? Are you getting more attention? Are you getting a promotion? Are you getting like special treatment? Are you getting help, assistance in some way? Have you learned something critical? Like, what are you getting? Like, what are you getting and how will it benefit you? Right? Right? And why is it important to impress them? And no assumptions for this answer, right? Only true knowledge that you know is going to happen. Like, don't just say like, well, I probably will get this, that, and the other. Oh no, I need you to answer with like real life facts and knowledge that you know. Because if you don't have real life knowledge and facts, then it's all made up. I'm telling you, I know this hurts. I do. I really do. But it's true. I have to help you. I have to help you understand that if you're making up the reasons and the responses that you think you'll get, even if it's based on history, it doesn't mean it's going to happen. And it doesn't mean you need to hang your hat on all of this crap just for the sake of, well, they said it was going to, or I think it's going to, or it has in the past. Because Those are not promises or contracts. Nothing is binding. It's all up in the air. So I need you to understand that. So it has to be real knowledge. So take a moment to do that and then come back to this if you still don't believe what I'm saying in regards to how important it is to rest and reset your mind. And when you're ready, I want you to jump on back into this episode and we can keep moving forward. So for the rest of us, though, and for you if you're rejoining us, we are going to get into both rest and resets for our minds. I'm going to share with you separately. So it'll be a list for rest of how to rest and how to reset. But first, let's go over the benefits real quick of each of those things. And before we jump into the benefits, it's important to know that for both rest and reset, these are coping mechanisms used to help ease stress, which is a beautiful thing, and regain control over ourselves when things feel out of sort, when things feel just crazy and just like chaos, right? You're like, okay, let's like rein it in, figure out how to decrease the stress, and then move forward in living my best life. So let's jump into the benefit first of resting your mind. So the benefit of resting your mind is preventing overload, burnout, and a visit to your pit of despair. And if you are unfamiliar with the pit of despair, it's something that I talk about all the time here on the show in regards to this place where you go to have victim mentality, to feel sorry for yourself, to be super uber sad, like more than normal, right? You're really just feeling all the feels so deep, so dark, so sad. It's almost as if you are caught up and you are down in this pit and you're struggling with all of these things that are just wreaking havoc on you and you're having trouble climbing out. And sometimes you can just go halfway. Sometimes you'll fall all the way into the pit real quick. And then you got to figure out a way to get out. You got to figure out a way to let go of that mentality. So resting your mind will prevent you from falling into your pit of despair as much, from going through burnout, from feeling overload, because everyone needs a break. Every single person, professional athletes, business owners, parents, students, anyone with a job, really, everyone in the world deserves a break. Everyone needs one. And the only person that, wouldn't think that human beings on this planet doesn't need a break are those severely uninformed of the importance of a break. So maybe they're naive, whatevs. And those that haven't seen their downfall from not taking breaks yet. So they're on the list. they're gonna experience it. But they haven't experienced it. So their expectation is that everyone else needs to rise to their standards and be like they are because they're clearly able to do it. That means that you should be able to do it. It's a load of BS, I'm telling you. It's also known as something that's severely delusional. It's crazy. No. So rest, it's so important. It's so chill. And it's something that we all absolutely need, okay? And the longer that you put it off, the more rest that you'll probably need, and the harder it will be for you to lean into this thing that you know that you need, that you won't take because you feel like your obligations for everything else are mounting up and will overtake you. And so you don't prioritize yourself when you really need to. It's so important. And it'd be better if you just prioritize yourself now for a little bit and take that little bit of time rather than putting yourself off for months and years and then having to take a lot of time off to get that rest that you need so that you can get back into it. Do you know what I mean? So it's just better to do it now. Now, the benefit of resetting your mind, which I know is kind of controversial. I was actually just watching a YouTube video the other day where a creator that I love to follow, that I actually haven't watched her videos in a long time, but I kind of got caught up on the saga of her life. But she has a video talking about how she doesn't believe in the whole Sunday or Monday reset or whatever. And to be honest, I think it was more geared to like dieting. But I do know that some people have a problem with, the idea of resetting at the top of the week or right before the week starts because it feels fake and it feels like a lot of work, right? When in reality, I think that resetting your mind can happen literally any time of the day. And it only takes like, a few minutes to do so. And it's so uber beneficial and helpful to our life and having a better life and one that feels more efficient and capable and honest. So just something to consider because, resetting it's a great thing and everyone has a different perspective. So it's quite possible that their perspective is just based on their own bias and experience. And that's okay too, because that's just how they see it, but you're welcome to see it another way. So the benefit of resetting your mind is to be more prepared and ready to take on whatever it is in front of you, like whatever is coming next. And, it's coming back to a baseline, like a baseline in your life and knowing where you're starting from. Like you're like, okay, this is where we're going to begin again. And that's fine. Rather than jumping fully back into chaos and not knowing where you're going to land and what's going to happen, expectations. No, you're ready to go. You're like, I'm going to start from here. I know what I have. I know where I am. I know how far I need to go. We are good to go. You know what I mean? And, you can take all the time that you need to rest, which comes first, rest and then reset. You can take oodles of time to rest. But if you don't reset your mind to be ready to move forward, you will overload again so much quicker because you didn't take that time to reset, to organize, to be like, where am I? Where are we going? You just jump right back in and you're like, oh, we're swimming. That's great. It's awesome. And then all of a sudden, bam, 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 all these things. They just like overcome you. And it's just like, oh, I need more rest again already because you weren't prepared. You need to take the break. Then make sure you're organized enough to step back into everything, or it will all be nothing. So wouldn't you rather be something than nothing? I think so. So it's important for us to reset, get organized, and figure out what needs to happen. So let's go ahead and jump right into the tips that I have on how to rest and reset your mind. We are going to start with 6 tips on how to rest the mind. And before we jump into these tips, as always, I want you to know that this is not a conclusive list. It is based on my knowledge, other people's experiences, and my experience. If you feel like none of these tips hit you well enough where it like feels like, oh yeah, that's my thing and you need more help, please ask a therapist, ask a counselor, go on Google, like look up like how to rest the mind and how to reset the mind. These are just the thoughts and the ideas and the knowledge that I have and the research that I have that I know will be helpful. So there's a disclaimer that comes every single time. Also, I want you to know that a lot of times there will be these like generic, what I feel is generic ideas of what we should do. And a lot of them are like exercise and stretch and pet a dog and go out for a walk and sing a song and all these stuffs, right? And I did not mention any of those. I mean, there's going to be like maybe like 2 that you're like, oh, those seem like classic examples. But I wanted to keep them more like specific and intriguing because we already know all those ones. And those ones are going to help right now. You can still try those. You can meditate. That's one of them. Journal. That's another. It just depends. I just don't want to name all those because there's like classic examples of how to rest the mind. No, let's dig a little deeper, and that's what we're going to do. So the first one on how to rest the mind is to read a book. Read a book. So a lot of times when we go into the activity and the desire to rest our mind, we don't want to be constantly worrying about the worries and the fears and the craziness that's happening in our lives or what is to come. So instead, it's important and helpful for us to like read a book. I think it could be fiction or even nonfiction, as long as the nonfiction doesn't trigger you to like think about the thoughts that you're trying to get away from, take a break from for a little bit. But it just allows your mind to refocus on something totally different and get locked into a story or some sort of like research dialogue where you're learning something else and you aren't first and foremost thinking about whatever problems or struggles or issues that you're currently going through. So taking the time to read a book will allow your mind to rest from everything else that is just like pushing it overboard and really lean into a hobby that maybe you really do enjoy. That's really fun. I love reading. I love it. Number 2, take a nap. This is a classic example, but I had to put it in because I love naps. I absolutely love naps. I don't take as many naps anymore because I am on ADHD medication, which is a stimulant, so I'm awake like the whole day. Even when I don't get that much sleep, I'm still awake. If I take my medication, regardless of not sleeping enough, I am awake. I'm up the whole day. We're ready to go. However, there have been a couple of times where taking a nap is super helpful. And so if you want to rest your mind, I think it's a good option if you have the ability to do so. Because even when I used to work somewhere where there was not like a break room or anything for me to take a nap, I would go out to my car if it was close, take a nap during work, or, working from home, taking a nap during my lunch break. Like, it's just so nice. Or actually, when I worked at a hospital and I was working in the resident program, I would actually take a nap at my desk. And I would just like lay my head down on my desk, or I would take a nap underneath the desk and just turn my light off and take a nap. And so if you want to do that at work or at home, it's really helpful to take a nap because it allows your brain to just shut off and chill and not be burdened with anything else that's going on in your life. So taking a nap can totally help to rest your mind. Number 3, and for this one we have 6 and the next one we have 7. So number 3 of 6 of how to rest your mind is to forgive yourself. One of the important things to remember when you need to rest your mind is that there are so many things running through our minds at all times. And a lot of times it could be things that we are upset at ourselves for being involved in or doing. And we really just need to forgive ourselves and let it go. So an example would be if we are so upset with ourselves by making a mistake or we fail at something, we just need to forgive ourselves and be like, this is totally fine. We're going to learn from this experience, and next time it'll get better, or we'll at least have more information, right? That's a minimum. And so you just need to forgive yourself from the things that you did that you're not happy about, things that you did in the past, and just keep moving forward. Just don't give up on yourself just because some bumps in the road appeared. No, just forgive yourself. Allow yourself to forgive and move forward. Give your brain a rest from worrying about that and thinking so deeply about that. And then you can move forward, which sounds so magical. Number 4, for how to rest your brain games. So a brain game can be like a crossword puzzle or a word search or like a Sudoku, which is the numbers one. Any of these things that can help with being a brain game, because your brain is being stimulated by something else and focusing on this game that you don't have enough time and capacity to think about your problems and your issues that you're currently going through. So you're able to give your brain a rest from really honing in on that and just strengthening your brain with a game and attention to detail and ability to recall information and things like that. So brain games are so super helpful in regards to resting your mind, because it allows you to rest most of your mind and just put energy into this one activity that actually can be fun. I enjoy a good word search. I really do. Crosswords I am terrible at, but I have still tried to give it a good go and see if I could guess the answer. Okay, number 5 of 6 is people watching. So super random, I know. However, when my brain just feels overwhelmed and I'm thinking about all the things, it actually is really comforting to me to just sit and we people watch. So whether that's at the mall or maybe you're cruising through Target and you're more focused on what other people are doing than what you're doing, that can be a form of people watching, which I think is actually kind of fun. Maybe you're just at lunch at a cafe or something at a restaurant and you just watch people in the restaurant or as they're passing by. And it can give your brain a rest because you're not so thoroughly and specifically thinking deeply about this, that, and the other that's going on that needs to be solved or worked on. No, you're just watching other people and you're not judging them. You're just oh, Be that person in their cool outfit or their bright hair or anything else that you find really cool, like tattoos or the book bag or the tote bag that they're carrying, or whether they just went out and got coffee. Is it a big coffee? Is it a small coffee? Like, I love people watching. It is absolutely fan-frickin-tastic because it's just so fun, and it does release your brain from thinking about all your problems and issues, right? And the last one for how to rest your mind is reasonably do what you can. So this means that if you're having a hard time resting your brain and not worrying about everything that's happening in your life, I would say reasonably do what you can so that you can allow yourself to have a break. So if you need to really think through certain problems and really just get it done and do your due diligence, okay, do that so that you can take that break without actually worrying about all that stuff that's happening that you can't really do anything about, and you have to just move forward on. So reasonably do what you can. And I wanted to make sure that I put in the word reasonably because I didn't want you to be out here doing the most and doing it all. I want you to just do enough and that you think is enough and you did your part to move forward and not be blamed for anything, but you still did the work. You were still diligent enough to do the work. You know what I mean? So reasonably do what you can. Not too much, not too little, just enough. Okay, let's jump into how to reset the mind. So we just spoke about 6 ideas on how to rest the mind and give the mind a break. Now we're going to move into how to reset the mind and give it the proper start it needs to jump back into everything. So number 1 is dump out all the problems. And, I talked about how journaling is not on my list, and this could be a form of journaling for you, but I just didn't want to talk about traditional journaling. I know that this is very specific. Dump out all of the problems, write them down, record them in like a voice note, type them out, whatever serves you best. Get all the problems out of you, and then you have an opportunity to reset and figure out how you're going to organize for the week, and whether it involves those problems or some of them are pushed to the wayside. You just need to decide and figure that out, but dump them all out, make a list, and then figure out how you can move forward with dealing with some of them and putting some others on hold for just a little bit. But dump it all out, word vomit it all, write it down, get it written out, and then it's so much easier to move forward and know where you should start from and feel confident about that choice. Number two is make a list for everything. So I briefly talked about making a list when you're dumping out all your problems, because obviously you're going to make a problem list that lists everything, and maybe in order, or maybe in like ability, time frame, whatever. You want to get that like detailed. But make a list for everything. So make a list of things you need to work on. Make a continuing list of things you're getting really good at. Make a list of all the goals that you have and like what you've actually hit. Make a list of the people that you're praying for. Make a list of the groceries that you need to get. Like, do anything that has to do with making a list that'll help reset your mind, because you're getting a lot of things out of you, and then you're kind of creating a plan without even realizing you're creating a plan, and then you can move forward and know what to tackle in what order if you're able to prioritize it, and just have a better visual of everything that needs to get done rather than feeling super overwhelmed and like, oh my gosh, I just found something else I got done. No, you wrote it down on your list, you're prioritizing it, and you're figuring it out, and if it needs to shoot to the top, all of a sudden, for whatever reason, it can do that too. So, how to reset your mind, make a list for everything. Number 3 is declutter a space. And I wanted to make sure that I explicitly said declutter a space, because I'm not saying you declutter your whole house for you to reset your mind. Maybe it's just your office desk, which is what I started doing today, so that when I'm back at normal work on Tuesday, it's not a craziness. But yeah, just like declutter a space. Maybe it's the kitchen. I feel like for me, it's usually the kitchen. Like even this morning I woke up and it was just like a disaster. So like while my husband was talking to me, I'm like slowly cleaning things up and like, getting the dishes into the sink and making sure the dishwasher is empty so I can reload it at some point. Like doing all the things. So even if it's just one space, maybe it's the kitchen, maybe it's the bedroom, maybe it's the bathroom, maybe it's your office. Maybe it's the bottom of the stairs. I need to clean the bottom of the stairs. Declutter a space. It'll help you reset and be like, okay, this needs to go here. I feel more productive. that I've actually done something. I'm going to help her stay organized, and it's going to be super helpful for everyone. And you're just decluttering, so cleaning a space up. Obviously, it should be a space that you spend a lot of time in during the day to day, or else it just really won't matter to you and you won't care, if that makes any sense. Okay, number 4, evaluate your expectations for the moment. So if you have super high expectations for the moment, you need to manage them, you need to bring them down, and realize that just because you want the most and the best to happen does not mean that is what's going to happen, does not mean that is what is capable. It just means that it might happen. And we need to have that in our regular life where we evaluate our expectations for the moment, because if our expectations are sky high, there's no way that we're going to be able to reset our mind properly, because we're living in the clouds and we can't actually see everything fully. So it's important for us to really realize that if our expectations are sky high, it'll be really hard for us to jump back in without feeling overwhelmed immediately, because our expectations are just unattainable. So we definitely need to evaluate those and realize that, hey, let's bring it down just a little bit. We still want to challenge ourselves. And we still want to hit like goals and aspirations and achievements, but if they're going to be sky high and unattainable, there is no point in even having those expectations. So manage your expectations when you are trying to reset your mind to get yourself off on the right foot. Okay, number 5 is say goodbye to useless tasks. So when you want to reset your mind, you want to evaluate whether the tasks that you have set for yourself for the day, for the week, if those tasks are actually going to help you. And I feel like lots of times we can fill our life with useless tasks that are no longer helpful to us, or ones that take up more time than we thought they did, but we still do them because we're not really evaluating and really like nitpicking how much time and how much benefit things are providing to us. You know what I mean? So it's important to really like think about, okay, is me doing this thing every single day actually helping me become my best self, or do my best every day, or be, strategic and how I'm going about things? If it's not, then then you might need to evaluate like not doing it for a while. It doesn't mean it won't ever come back. It just means like, okay, it's kind of like unhelpful right now, so let's push that to the wayside. And again, it'll feel more balanced and ready to reset and be ready to jump back into life after we have done our rest and reset for our mind, if that makes sense. Okay, number 6 out of 7, remember, learn something new to challenge yourself. So I believe that a really good reset will include you like pushing yourself to learn something. It doesn't have to be something super difficult. Maybe it's just a concept or an idea on how to strengthen your mind or become a better person in whatever, specific point that you want, like whether it's a better person at being kind, or being grateful, or having a good attitude when things are hard, or being really what was it today? Manners. That's like something that apparently a lot of people are lacking based upon the gal at the grocery store today. Anyway, that's a different story for a different time. But yeah, so, learn to challenge yourself in something new, because that'll help you reset and really push you to do something else and be ready to take on new challenges and step outside of our comfort zone, which is also contributing to resetting our mind, because we're allowing ourselves to be ready for whatever is out there, and also remind ourselves we are strong enough to take on things that are new to us. So resetting your mind definitely relates to learning something new to challenge yourself, because you're really pumping yourself up to be like, okay, I can do this. I can do all these normal things that I do and this thing over here, and really push myself to learn a skill or have new abilities, or just have this extra knowledge that might actually benefit me, or it will benefit me because you're, choosing something specific to learn. You know what I mean? Like an example for me would be like really diving into photography and being able to take better pictures, because that would benefit me in like content and things that I do every day to share mindset and mental health on the social media apps, Instagram and TikTok. So learn something new to challenge yourself. Okay, last one, number 7. I know we're running long. Number 7 for how to reset your mind is reminder. It's just a simple reminder that you're just as important as everyone else. And that's really important to remind yourself of when you are resetting your mind, because it allows you to pump up your self-worth and be like, okay, just because I'm not doing this, that, and the other does not mean that I'm not worthy. Just because I don't have this or that, or I haven't learned this knowledge yet, or gone to school, or do whatever, or have all of these things, it doesn't mean that I'm not worthy. Absolutely doesn't. You are just as important as anyone else. You're worthy just as anyone else. It's good to remind yourself that. So when you do, after you take that rest and then you're ready to reset, you're ready to jump back in, then you're like, I can do this. And you're telling yourself, I can do this. And I'm just as important as everyone else. And everyone goes through struggles and failures and mistakes. We're all the same. We may be doing different seasons of life, and they might be doing something now that I'll be doing something later, or vice versa. And that's okay, because we're all on our own journey. So reminder, you're just as important as everyone else, and that will help you reset your mind and be excited to jump back into whatever is going on in your life after your rest and reset. But that is all I have to share with you today for how to rest and reset your mind. You guys, I hope this was super helpful. But thank you so much for listening to the Real Positive Girl podcast. Again, with me, Sabrina. You're absolutely amazing. And thank you for downloading, sharing the show, and listening and being here and supporting me. And again, do not forget to check the show notes below for, suggesting topics for the show, venting anonymously, which is a new thing, signing up for the weekly newsletter, and sending me an email, or just following me on social media and saying hi and letting us become friends online. But until next time, have a good one, and I will see y'all next time. Bye, everyone.